Okay, so we're in Adobe Premiere Pro. We just wrap up a project. We go to File, do our final save. Now we're ready to export. So it's going to be we're going to end up as we go through the process in a program called Adobe Media Encoder, which comes included with the Adobe Creative Cloud programs. And Media Encoder can be used for a lot of different things to change file formats and encode media. So it's connected to Premiere Pro. So we go to File menu, we go to Export, and we go to Media. Then it brings up this screen right here. Now this, I'm not going to go everything in this screen. I'm just going to show the bare basics for doing an export. Under Format up here, we go to H.264. Unless I tell you otherwise, everything we do is in H.264. Then underneath that, they have presets. So you pull that out, and these are all H.264 options. Okay, depends what you're going to do with it. We're going to go all the way down here to YouTube 720p HD. We're going to pretend we're going to put it on YouTube, and we want the basic 720p high definition setting. So we click on that, and it says YouTube 720p HD. Now, if you want to change the name of your export so it doesn't use the default name there, now you can only change a file name after you do your export, but I'll show you how to do it here. You double click on there. Now I'm going to put here Rio video 11. So that's our video. We're doing video 11 here. And it's going to desktop, and I'm going to hit save. And now I didn't actually export it at this point. I'm just naming it and choosing where it's going to go. And it may have already been set in my case to go to desktop, but that's a good idea to do that. To double click this, name that. So we got our H.264 or YouTube 720p HD, and then we got the video there. Now down here there's two options. There's one called Q and one called Export. Export will take you straight into the export, but I'm going to show you Q just for something a little different. Q means making a line. So I'm going to click Q, and now I got to wait a moment while it opens up the Adobe Media Player, which should open up here in just a second. And when that comes up, it's going to put it in line to be exported, but it's not actually exported yet. Okay? Now, you might say, why would that exist? Well, sometimes when people are doing projects, they may put stuff in the queue to be exported, but maybe they want to keep using their computer. Maybe it's a big project that's going to take a while to export, so they just want to put it there for later. So that's part of a workflow, like in a professional environment. So we're going to pretend we put it there. Maybe we go back and work for a while. We come back later. But for right now, I'll show you then how to go from the queue to actual exporting. So that maybe you got 2, 3, 4 projects. You can line them all up, click export, walk away, go to lunch or something. So we got this here lined up. There's a little green button. It's like an arrow up here. It says Start Queue. So that's if you go to the queue first, then you do this. It's lined up, and then you click on there. If you go straight to export, I think it goes straight to the next what we're going to do here right now. So I click on that. Now it's preparing the export, and as you can see down below here, it's going through the rendering and whatever it needs to do the export. So that's being done technically in Adobe Media Encoder, which you can see up here at the top, the name. So it's a different program. Now, my recommendation is whenever you're doing exporting like this, you don't actually go continue working in your video editing program. You can pretty safely open a web browser or something, but you don't want to do anything that's processor intensive. Okay, now this here is exporting. If you were following me, you can be doing the same thing right now. If not, I will be sharing this video on the Google Classroom so you can look it up to see how to export. So it's just about done rendering here, about 18 more seconds, and then I'll show you the final product here. Okay, it looks like it finished. Okay, I can now go ahead up here where it says Media Encoder, and I can quit Adobe Media Encoder. If I'm not using Premiere Pro anymore today, I can go up here and quit Premiere Pro. And then I'm going to look on my desktop for my video here in just a moment. Okay, It's Rio Video 11. There it is right there. I double click, and there it is. I can hit play. When I open it up, it's going to open up in the QuickTime Player. Now that's the one you submit. Now if you do your export and you forgot to name it, obviously you can click right there and change the name of your file. Leave in the .mp4, put in your last name, you put V11, Video 11, that'd be fine. Okay, and then submit it. So that is how you do